What's going on, people, and welcome back to the channel. Today in the last video we looked at all the starting MLS goalkeepers that I believe will be in net for their team in the next season, and this is sort of a follow-on video for those of you guys that are thinking about perhaps investing into the MLS. Obviously with their new comp involved, a lot of hype around that, and yeah, this video is going to be my sort of preemptive top 10 cheap picks for the MLS. Now, obviously, I will reiterate, as stated in the other video, this is recorded way ahead of time before all of the prices are announced, so take it with a pinch of salt. These are just sort of suggestions as to players that might be cheap. With that being said, I had massive help from MDK in this one, alongside with the goalkeeping video. His link will obviously be down below just here. That is for Twitter and also in the description. So if you guys need any sort of tips and tricks for MLS, he's brilliant to follow on Twitter. He always replies. So yeah, if you got any questions about certain players, he's definitely the man to go to. But today I'm going to show you my picks for the top 10 cheap MLS players. If you're thinking about signing up to Sorare and you want to support a small creator like myself, all you need to do is click on the link down below, buy 5 cards from Sorare, so the primary market. They can literally be 50p or whatever, and then you'll receive £50 market credit. So that means you can spend £50 pretty much and have a gallery worth £100. So that's a great way to start. And not only would you have a great gallery to start with, but I also received the same offer, so it will benefit me also. So that's definitely the best way to help a small creator like myself. I would really appreciate that. Let's get on with the video today. Up first we have Christian Espinoza. Now this is a player who was sort of a star in a bad side last season. You can see from his SO5 scores here. I mean, he even has 100 in there, 95, some really good scores. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not neglecting the fact that he's due, has a couple of poor games in here, but I do anticipate that San Jose will have a lot better of a season, because they've got a new manager now, and I think that they could definitely improve and potentially reach like the playoffs, if they sort of follow the trajectory that I believe that they could do. Or they can reach the potential they can reach now. If that was the case, San Jose, this would be, obviously a great season for them, especially off the back of a very poor season. But this man would be absolutely influential to, them having reaching the playoffs essentially. Now you can see from his scores here, they're pretty much hit and miss. But you would have to assume if they're winning more games, he's going to score well. Now you can see just above my camera, just below my camera here, his classic card is about £2 give or take. But yeah, in season prices, I'm guessing, especially in the hype, as soon as they're released, maybe he'll be close to about £10 or so, potentially more. But yeah, again, obviously recording this ahead of time, but I probably wouldn't pay too much more than £15. Yeah, obviously it's all subjective to the price of other players, but yeah, I don't see him being too expensive, because obviously how poor San Jose was last season. But let's see if he can live up to the expectation that I have of San Jose this season. Up next is Franco Escobar. Now, this man obviously plays for Houston Dynamo, and if we have a look at his sort of last season scores, quite like spiky, which can be good for, this is kind of the story of fullbacks. I feel like, they're either going to hit 40 or 100, which can be a good thing, especially if you're going, you're going for them podiums, you want them spiky scores. Sure, sometimes he might kill a lineup with a poor 30, 20, around that region, but when he does hit, he's going to hit, which, I think Houston probably going to improve this season, and a lot of clean sheet. I feel like they're probably going to be quite clean sheet capable, and yeah, with his AA, as you can see here, he's AA about 40, 30, 40, give or take 30. We'll probably say average of about 30 AA. If he gets that clean sheet, it's almost guaranteed to be 100, or up there at least. So yeah, I think a very spiky player, who could kill a lineup, but also could absolutely make a lineup. And with that being said, like I say, his price is quite cheap. Again, about £1.50. I'm expecting maybe his new season to cost around the maybe like £8 to £10 region. Again, we'll reiterate, it's sort of a guessing game at this point, but yeah, I probably wouldn't look to pay any more than £10. But yeah, good, definitely a good fullback playing for Houston, who should keep clean sheets this season. Let's see how he gets on. Up next, we have Rodrigues, who ties in perfectly with Espinoza, the first suggestion in the video. Now, this is San Jose's centre back, again, fitting into the ideology that San Jose have a lot better of a season than last year. You can see, even with a poor season, he has scored quite well, 70s to 60s sort of range. Yeah, and I believe him to be definitely, obviously, if San Jose have more potential to keep clean sheets, with the new manager coming in and the the push that they want to go on, I think that he could definitely be one of their better scorers for sure. You can see in the AA sort of hovering about the 20 to £30 mark. Now, I think this guy will probably be a little bit cheaper than obviously Franco Escobar. Obviously, classic being about £1 70p, almost like, yeah, again, perfect for this video, almost like a cheap beast potential. Yeah, maybe looking at about £6 to £7 maximum. And this is talking about, when I give you these prices, this is like in the hype. I'm assuming it's going to be that high. Obviously, naturally, it's going to come down over the season. Um, and maybe he'll be even cheaper than that. I wouldn't go much higher than £6 to £7 though, guys. But yeah, it all depends how you think San Jose is going to do for the first sort of couple of selections. If you don't think they're going to do that great, then obviously these selections might not be for you. But yeah, I think they're on for a good season. Up next, Emil Forsberg. Now, obviously, this man joined from Leipzig not too long ago, and this one, I think, is going to be on a lot of people's radar, so potentially not cheap, but he is a risk, so that makes me think he might be cheap. Now, obviously, yeah, he got a lot of DAs and stuff in the last season, obviously missing a patch of the season there, but I think it just depends how bad Emil Forsberg wants it. Now, I would say this is probably one of the riskier ones in the 10, but he should be on to get a few more DAs throughout this next season, obviously becoming more comfortable in the league, perhaps. And obviously, we all know what Forsberg is capable of. Scoring them really high sort of scores that he used to do. But yeah, I think definitely potential. And I'd keep an eye on the price with this one. Obviously, you can see his classic is sort of quite low price, so maybe if he's below the £7 mark, he might be worth the risk. Yeah, so thought I'd include him in this one. Up next is Ivan Angulo. Now, this is an Orlando City boy, obviously quite young as you can see, still developing, but from what it looks like, he looks to be developing very, very well. You can see at the start of the season here, perhaps, not the best scores, but as the season has progressed, he looks to be getting a lot better and developing quite quickly. So I think he could be a good forward, especially Orlando. I reckon they're going to have a decent season, and if they do, then he could definitely be a good cheap alternative to buy into a good Orlando stack, that's for sure. So yeah, you can see he probably offers around 10 to 15 AA. Obviously, as a wide player, I do like that from a wide player. It's pretty decent, and yeah, obviously, if Orlando does well, he should also do well as well. Up next, we have Antony. Now, not the one you're thinking of. That one's gone to Betis. But we have Antony here for the Portland Timbers. Now, last season, he actually started to get more regular game time. You can see he was sort of like inconsistently in the squad to start with. And then it looks like he's been given more minutes towards the end of the season. And I think he's developing into a decent little player. Obviously, still 23, so lots of time to sort of develop as a player. And I think he's been played in more of an advanced role. So perhaps, there's potential there to get more shots on target and that sort of stuff. You can see quite sorry, the scores aren't the best, so would definitely put people off buying him with a lot of these substitute appearances in here. But I reckon this guy's going to be super cheap and definitely one with a lot of potential. So for those of you guys that don't know, Obviously, I collect Newcastle players, and I feel like this happens quite a lot. You have players so a great example actually would be Bruno G was sitting quite deep in the midfield early in the season, wasn't scoring that well in Sorare, and then obviously when Tonali came back and they sort of swapped roles almost, and we allowed Bruno G to play more advanced, he just started scoring unreal, and obviously his scores went up, price went up, that sort of thing. So I think Antony, like playing in this more advanced role, might potentially allow him to get better scores on Sorare. So definitely one to keep an eye out for in the future. Up next, we have Tolo, and obviously paying for the Seattle Sounders, one of the favourites for this season to do well. And yeah, I think he's a bit of a. I'll show you guys down here. He's a bit of an AA machine, in my opinion, hitting them 30s quite regularly, as you can see here. Again, one of them spiky scores. Like I say with these fullbacks, you can see up here, they either get that 40 or the 90. But I do anticipate him getting a lot better scores this season because Seattle Sounders obviously they're definitely on the up, and this obviously means that they're more likely to get things like clean sheets. And with his AA, there's definitely potential. You can see here 30, 30, 30, around that sort of mark. If he gets 30 and a clean sheet, then obviously you're expecting him to score high and quite well, especially in the Seattle Sounders team. And again, looking at his price, guys, like surely if his classic is this cheap, his in season is potentially going to be definitely down there, maybe £6 or so. Not too sure, but yeah, I'd say keep this man on your radar. He looks to be a good one for the Seattle Sounders. Up next, we have Eric Sviatchenko. Sorry, I've killed it. I've killed the name, but anyway, had to be included, even though his name's hard to pronounce. Just look at this, an absolute AA machine, and these are 60s and 70s without even getting clean sheets half the time. If he gets the clean sheet, he looks like he's going to hit 90s really. So you can see here, look, 30, 30, again, I think AA is so just, yeah, it's definitely, with these cheap players, you need them to be getting as much AA as possible, and then obviously the decisives will come and go as the season goes on. But I think this guy, his AA is just so good that if they, by chance does manage to get that decisive, then he's scoring very well. As you can see on the back end of last season, he, yeah, looks to be scoring pretty good. And yeah, you look at his classic prices. Again, you would have to assume that maybe he's at a maximum £10 mark. And yeah, Houston Dynamo, I reckon they're on for quite a decent season. So yeah, I think Eric is definitely one to look at. Up next, we have Christian Olivera. Now, if you guys know me, when I'm looking at young players, I like to look at the international setup. And he's already getting some minutes with Uruguay. So, as I looked into him a bit more, you can see he's not really getting, a couple of decent scores in there, but he's not really getting the minutes he deserves. And I feel like if he's getting in the Uruguay setup, especially with now LAFC obviously losing Bogusz, I feel like Christian has an opportunity here, and it's just whether or not he, grabs it by the horns and takes his chance. But a lot of these scores, I wouldn't be worried because a lot of them are just limited minutes. He's not getting much opportunities. You can see a couple of DMPs in here, but with Mateusz Bogusz out the setup, I think that Olivera definitely has potential here, and obviously still quite young. So a few people could have their eyes on him. So yeah, yet to see in terms of prices, but I reckon he could be relatively cheap, and people potentially sleeping on this one. So yeah, make sure you've got him in your scouting center, guys. Last but not least, we have the Columbus man, Amundsen. Now, another Danish man, another centre back. I do anticipate Columbus Crew to have a very good season, and definitely on to score some clean sheets. Now, you can see the scores here are okay. Now, if you stayed this far to the video, I'm going to give you a little sort of bonus, almost a little reward. Now, my strategy wouldn't be just to buy this man. I would have a look at Columbus Crew, and obviously it depends on budget, but I would have a little look at Ivan Cherkbo as well. Now this man could definitely, I couldn't quite include him in a cheaper beast video because I think he could be a little bit expensive, but should you have the funds, I reckon having let me go back, Amundsen and Chirkbo in a little defensive stack, you know, a little double up. When they look at this, just when they hit, they're going to hit at the same time. Look, imagine you get a little 90, little 7500, you know, captain one of them. I reckon this could be a very viable strategy for the MLS, especially if you know, you like the Columbus Crew, you like watching them. I reckon a little double defensive stack could work wonders. Now, I will reiterate, obviously, Chebeko, sorry, might be a little bit out of the price range for you, but even if you can't afford him, I think Amundsen, you know, shouldn't be too expensive. Hopefully, I'm hoping not many of these MLS cards will be too expensive, but who knows? Very hyped up league, very popular. But they are going to be some of my picks for the MLS ahead of the new season. Let me know what you guys think. So that is it, guys. That is going to be my 10 cheap players to have a, you know, keep an eye out for in the MLS, especially when obviously all these early release cards come out. You know, I'm sure a lot of you have a little notepad or, you know, something that you're keeping track of all these players on, that's for sure. And yeah, maybe just keep note of them, have a little look at prices. They might potentially die in the hype. Maybe one or two of them don't start potentially in the season, and then you can buy into the, you know, the dip or something like that. Yeah, pretty much just wanted to make this video just to add a couple more names into your scouting centers. Why not? And yeah, sort of partners well with the goalkeeper video. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the MLS content. I'm really looking forward to sort of producing more content on the MLS. I know it's quite a popular league, so yeah, do let me know if you guys want to see more MLS stuff. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in a future video. Peace.